You just finished a couple playthroughs of a board game and now you want to share how fantastic and awesome it was, or maybe how much work it needs, or maybe a little bit of both. Regardless, here you are setting up your tripod, you put your camera up top, give your thoughts, cut your clips together, maybe throw a soundtrack on there, and right before you export it, a thought hits you. Wait, is there anything I can do to make this video better? I got you covered. Welcome to part 2. So I got a lot of really good feedback in part 1 where I talked about how to make a more engaging board game tutorial. Thank you all so much, but now let's reconfigure that to see how it changes as you are approaching this from a board game review perspective. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to make a more engaging board game review video and make these really cool animated text just for you, and I'll show you how to install it later in this video. So in the beginning of a board game review video, it typically starts off with a rundown of what the board game is about. So people that are watching your review are typically people that are interested in buying the game, or people that are just interested in the game in general, which means that this is a perfect time to overlay B-roll. Regardless of how you feel about the game, this is the perfect time from a filmmaking, video content creating standpoint to really highlight the board game components. I'll have a whole podcast episode discussing that, but here I want to show you how to make your B-roll look a lot better. So A-roll is what's happening right now. It's the main story, the main reason behind the video. It's you talking to the camera. In a review, it's pretty much you giving your thoughts about the game. B-roll is all of these supplementary footage. So that is all the footage that's showing all of the components of the board game as you are giving your thoughts and comments about it. So tip number 1. Since our board games don't move, it looks more cinematic and more professional when you are introducing movement to the board game components. So you can do this a couple of different ways. You can film yourself playing the game and incorporating different actions from the game. What I like to do is use something called a turntable. So this is automated. As soon as you switch it on, it just rotates by itself, hence the wire. A turntable is really nice because it allows you to focus really well on all of the intricate little details of the components, and also rotates the perspective around the components as you are talking about the game. I also like to put a light behind the component so it really punches in that professional level quality. Tip number 2, use light to really distinguish your footage. I use these really cheap LED strip lights that I'll link everything that I talk about down in the description below. These lights give me kind of like that halo aura right behind me. And for your B-roll, it gives a really nice dreamy look, and because it's accenting it from the background, it really highlights the components and looks very, very cinematic. You can also use a single light source. Here's one that I'm using, which is on my shelf. But this one, if you just put it right above your components and use one single light source, it gives a very nice dramatic look that I always use. And combine that together, it allows the viewer to really hone in on what you're talking about. Tip number 3, you want to give distance between your components and the wall or your background. When you do that, your camera is now going to give a better bokeh, which is that blurred background, to your footage. Combine that with a hair light. A hair light is like a backlight, like I'm showing you right here. Combine that with a backlight and it gives you a very, very dreamy, focused, just a very buttery, delicious, good look. So tip number 4 is to introduce variety, especially for board games, because we're automatically inclined to just punch in and show only macro shots. But in reality, we can incorporate a ton of other different techniques in order to really increase the variety of footage and therefore the overall quality and look of our videos. For example, you can open up with a wide shot, showing the whole box and the board and all the components together. You can do the more detailed shots, showing all the little intricate details of our miniatures by honing in on them, as we mentioned earlier. I also like to use my tripod and my light stand as foreground, which is a very good cinematic technique because it allows movement in your foreground. And then maybe instead of scanning from left to right, you go from below the table to above the table. So the key here is to mix in as much variety as possible as you are overlaying your dialogue, which now brings me to my next point. Tip number 5 is to make sure that what you're saying matches what you are showing. You want to make sure that you keep your dialogue as relevant as possible to what you are showing your viewers. That way the visuals and the audio will accent each other. For example, in Fujikoro, it would have introduced a really big disconnect if I was talking about the dragons and then all of a sudden I was showing you like the player boards instead of the miniatures or like the combat. That disconnect causes people to lose interest or not really absorb what you're saying. So if I'm talking about exploration, then I can show the tiles being revealed because that's how you explore in the game. So in commentary, and footage align very nicely together, it really makes your footage stand out. So everything that we talked about so far is mostly for like the premise and kind of just an overview about the board game itself. Then you start diving into how you're going to structure your reviews. I like to start off my reviews talking about first what I think the game can improve on, followed by the artwork and what drew me to the game initially, and then the components because that's important for me as well. And then I finish with the make it or break it deal for me, which are the gameplay mechanics. Now, regardless of how you structure your reviews, I think it gives a lot of clarity by including some motion graphics or animated text to help structure your timeline like this. Motion graphics really help elevate the quality of your videos, and they help accent what you're saying in comparison to static text. And guess what? I just made 3 of them just for you. You can use them completely free. They are linked in the description down below. If you enjoy the channel and all the videos I make, there is an option for you to leave however much you like, but again, there is 0 pressure. I'm so glad that you're here and supporting the channel. You can subscribe if you like because that would really support this channel so I can keep making more videos like this. So let me show you very quickly how to install them and then we'll dive into how to use them. Okay, so the installation for this is super easy and fast. As soon as you download it, let me show you what to do. So once you download it and open Premiere, there is a button under the Essential Graphics panel on the right side. And in that section on the bottom right, you'll see a button here that says Install a Motion Graphics Template. So just click that. Go to whichever one that you installed, and you do have to do it one by one. So let's just do a green reveal, click open, and that's it. So now you can click this, and as a side note, instead of searching for it every single time, what you can also do is click on this star button. So then when you click on this star over here, it will only show your favorite motion graphics. So take this, drag it onto your timeline, and now you can customize it however you like. So you can make it smaller, you can make it bigger. There is a size limit though, so get too big, like see how the letters cut off here. That's totally fine. Just make it smaller on this side. Go to the left panel over here where it says scale, and then you can increase that instead. So that way you preserve the animation of the motion graphics. There, so that one's a very, very fast one. Let's say you can always cut it off and extend it. That's why I didn't make an ending part of it. So it depends how long you want it to stay on your screen for. That's why I didn't make an ending panel for it. But let's say you want to extend it even longer. All you have to do is right click on add frame hold, and then now this will be a static text that just remains for however long you like it. I also added in some other factors that you can change as well. So you can change the font, you can change the italics, anything associated with the font pretty much. You can make all caps, you can change the color of what it ends to, you can make it red, whatever color you like. You can move it left and right, up and down. And that's just for one of the effects. So that's green reveal. Let's take a quick look at spotlight. So for spotlight, the font is gray. That way the light that goes across it is white. So if it was white on white, you wouldn't be able to see the light going across. That's why this one is gray, but you can change it to any other color. Just make sure that you're aware that the light shining across is white. So if I look at this one back, like red stands out pretty nicely too. It's kind of hard to see here, but again, it all depends on your footage and whatever color that you like your text to be. Again, you can change your X and Y position, you can change the size, you can change the font. And the last one I want to go over is emerge. So again, this one is more subtle. Just a quick, easy fade in and a position from left to right. Same things here, right? You can change the color, you can change the font, position, anything you would like at all, and those are all for you. Now you want to gauge the pacing of your video properly when you're using animated text, meaning you don't want to use them every other second. You can also really polish this effect by pairing it with an appropriate sound effect. For example, in the spotlight motion graphics, you can use a shimmering sound effect that would pair nicely. For green reveal, you can use a whoosh sound since a line is kind of revealing the text as it goes. And if you don't want to use sound, that's totally fine. You can use emerge, which is a nice subtle one that will work without sound. But if you want to include sound, you can also put a nice little soft bass to it. Many options to give you some variety. So we talked about incorporating movement into your B-roll to showcase the game. We talked about how to use light to really punch in that cinematic quality. Number 3 was to create separation between your subject and your foreground to get that nice dreamy bokeh. Number 4, we want to introduce variety and avoid those static shots by introducing a variety of camera angles and movement. Number 5, try to keep your discussion and your commentary as relevant as possible to the B-roll that you're showing. That way they are in sync. And number 6 was to use animated text to spotlight key points in your discussion. You can also use it to organize your video chronologically and to even label different pieces as you are talking about and introducing them to your videos. So those are a couple different things that you can use to incorporate into your review videos in order to really elevate the quality. As always, I hope you found this video helpful. Let me know down below which one was your favorite, and I will see you all in the next video, which is probably going to be part 3 to this.